then you can see Mercury. So when you go through there and you start matching up, and then every fucking thing you looking at, everything you looking at is lining up. And you like, holy shit, what the fuck? This can't be real. So then that's when you start second guessing yourself and you start going back over the information. You check it out again, and if it come out the same thing, then you got to say, okay, is there any information that goes into translating this into English that would help me better to discern what I'm reading? And so I found out that I'm missing a critical piece of information. If I had this one piece of information, I would know within the 99.9 percentile. Right now, the percentage range is about 85%. That's enough for me to act on if I apply the concepts of the military. If you're 85% sure that you're about to get attacked, you should probably respond before they do, preemptively. But when you're reading these signs, and because of how people's minds don't always click with it, you have to be as close to 100% as you can get. The birthday will get me all the way to as high as in the 99 plus percentage if I match the birthday up, because then I will be looking for Virgo, right? Because the scales of justice or the enmity was put between the Scorpio Virgo, and they used to be one sign. They used to be Virgo Scorpio, and then they put Libra, the scales of balance, between the two because of the transgressions of the invaders. When they did that, it made them separate, where justice had to be established. Justice had to be established in a very specific manner in order for somebody to develop through the oppression in order to break the cycles. And so, no, she's not in Florida. She's right up here. So, when I look at from where I'm at, there is a place that matches the court. Because remember, we're talking Judgment Day. There's a court just east of me. And the court has a strange name. It's called the Newman, the Newman Court Apartments. Now, that's getting more specific, because after the resurrection, the old man has become new. Now, the resurrection is taking place, the old man now being new. We're going to walk a little bit closer. We're talking like door numbers. Now we're getting closer to 90% with this information. When you look at the door numbers, you got 662, which adds up to 14, which is 2 sevens to me. Now that can be reaching. I could consider that as reaching. That's going too far. But considering all of the other signs, the 2 sevens, it's only 1 7 missing, is the perfected man. So if I'm born with 3 sevens in my head, I got to be able to figure this shit out. Okay, so now, where we go from here is the last piece of information that would determine the level of accuracy to 90% in reading these signs, to make you want to go knock on a motherfucker door and say, I came for the queen, get the fuck out my way. In order for you to do that, you need that one critical piece of information. Because you need to know, because if it's not a Virgo, then the Scorpio-Virgo union can't take place. And that's why they said that Mary was the virgin. She wasn't virgin as in never had sex. She was a virgin in that she was born under the sign of Virgo. And they called her Mary as a mockery term because they say she was a rebellious woman, an unkempt, an untamed woman, a wild woman, which is not actually the case. And this is fucking crazy. So there's another thing that gets me close to like 97%. That's one of my patron saints, or the patron saint energy, that's part of the makeup of the force that I'm driving. Last name is Velasquez. Well, the name is a shortened version of this, right? So I know the exact person that matched this description to the 95%. I just got to eliminate 5% in order to know if I'm right or if I'm not right. Because the 5% being wrong will bring the whole thing down as reaching too far. It'll take it all back to zero. If that one thing is wrong, it'll take it all back to zero. And so now I got to figure this one piece of the puzzle out. Because now it's either full throttle ahead, go, or it's back to zero. And I don't really know which one of these to look at, but I gotta find this birthday. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, so I wanted y'all to see how we read signs. Because you don't just always read the image. Because you just read the image, it could confuse you. What do you got to compare it to? Now you got to remember, as above, so below. If you can read it in the sky and you can read it on the ground, you pretty much know what you're talking about. You pretty much know what you're talking about. Because it's not going to match. The star's not going to change. Shit on this planet to change. And that'll change. But if the stars is fixed to a position on the ground, and they fixed truly, that fixed position on the ground, that's not an illusion. It has to be a parallel there. As above, so below. But then you'll notice that it's always inverted. It's an optical illusion. So you flip it with a mirror. And when you flip it with the mirror, you have to do that as far as directional. So you can know north from south and east from west. Because in Egypt, we were southern oriented. So to us, north was down and south was up. So when we talk about the underworld, we really talking about going north. And Africans taught that hell was cold and that the devil lived in the cold climate. So when we talk about going into the underworld to redeem the queen of heaven and earth, you have to be able to know how to translate that, how to convert what you read in the stars, because this is what it's about. The three wise men is a tale about those who could read the stars. You could see in the stars what's taking place on the planet Earth, what's going on the ground. Now, you have to go back to the legends and see if you can match things up. You can see if you could, okay, if the direction you're going in keeps strangling you out, that means that there's something that you're missing. So you got to go back to where you knew you was right and start right there. So you go back to that point and then you start decoding that shit again. And if you run into the tough spot again, you know where you ran into it at because you're looking for it. Just like I ran into the birthday issue, because like too many things matched up without the birthday. Because if the birthday could have matched up first, I wouldn't have went as far with, because I could have read the birthday of the person, read all of their horoscope information, and been able to tell you if it was her. But I didn't do that because I don't have a birthday. But I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it as soon as I possibly can. And you're going to see, reading these signs, not only are we going to be doing videos about how to read the signs, I'm going to teach everybody how to write the book of life. Your own book of life. You can either write your book of your past life or you can go from the past into the future. But if you don't understand how to break the oppression, you can't never live a wholesome life. And if we can't get these oppressive regimes from off our backs, taking our finances, then we won't never have the means to live comfortable. It doesn't make sense for you to work 40 years and get out and you can't even take a trip. You have to sit in the house for the rest of your life. That's foolish to me. That's insane and retarded. That's not how humans are supposed to live, nor are we supposed to treat each other that way. But these corporations get so caught up in the humdrum and the greed of the making the money that they neglect the human quality of the worker. So as long as the workers ain't properly compensated, then there's no sense in y'all ever trying to figure about breaking free. The worker struggle is the root of all struggles on this planet, because if you don't work, you can't eat. Period. And then you got people that's saying who can and who cannot work. That's wrong. Everybody should have an opportunity to work, and nobody should have to work their fingers to the bone for 30 or 40 years unless they choose to do it. You know, a 20-year in and out program for all workers should be set up where we passing these jobs through family lines instead of throwing these jobs away, and that we have people that's being compensated sufficiently where they never have to retire. They don't have to retire broke down, beat up, muscles don't fucking work, joints locked up, hips gone, shoulder. You can't do people, you can't work people like that. That's not right, it's not fair. So the worker struggle is the root to what we focus on. When you learn to read the signs, it tell you in reading the signs that when the liberator comes, that's what he would be focused on first. It was the labor force. And you have multiple prophecies that converge on one person. And you have multiple prophecies that converge on another person. It's only two people at the end. It's the Son of Man, and it's the Queen of Heaven and Earth who crowns him king. Now, we say that in a literal term, but it don't mean that. Now, I'm going to use for reference a video I did called The Right of the Earth Right, Why Women Are Called First. And there I explained that if a man is to attain the power on earth, it has to be a certain woman, and this woman has to be qualified to open the portal of life and allow him the right to bring her to orgasm and to accept him without the resistance. And this is how you're trying to break the rape campaign. It got to be consensual. And he's obligated to bring her to climax, because when her juices flow, and you are a high mystic, you use that and you drive that through the woman in order to absorb the right amount of energy to convert you from a regular man to some shit you would not fucking believe. And this is the science that they kept from us. And I went into all of the secret societies, and I done been blessed across all of the gangs. I done been blessed by Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, Gangster Disciples, Black Gangster Disciples, BDs, GDs. I done been blessed by religious organizations like Five Percenters, Nation of Islam. I done been blessed by Christians and Jehovah's Witnesses. Everybody then already agreed that I am an acceptable subject in order to overthrow this beast. And then the only thing was left was Judgment Day. Show and prove. Can you crack this fucking code? And if you can crack this code, and if you did all of that fucking leg work, and you went through all of the underbellies of this society, looking at all of the issues like a mechanic crawling under a car, trying to figure solutions out for all of these oppressive regimes and tactics used to keep us down and oppressed. I did that. I met them all. I can walk you through my entire life from the time I was baptized by Mother Margaret, Big Mama, all the way up until I took my test to discover who and what I was, and it blew my mind, because I didn't think that I was qualified to carry that title, or qualified, or I would be the type of person that would be acceptable as holding that rank. But when I think about it, it's Judgment Day, and I earned the right. I am the master of the Day of Judgment. I passed the fucking test. You know, so now all I got to do is claim the queen. And that's what the paperwork all about right now. So now I'm in pursuit of a birth date that'll lock all of the answers together like glue, or it will blow this theory clean out the water, and I have to go back to the drawing board. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that right now. I got an idea, but, you know, in strategy, you have to be kind of resourceful. So the spirit realm reflects through the lens. And what I mean by that, every sign that you read in the religious text is anchored to a star in some form or another so that you can know if it's been changed. They can change everything on earth, they can't change the stars. They're not allowed to change the story star position. They can tell the story all around the star as long as they leave the star position intact, because they have to leave you a method, a key to escape the matrix, to crack this shit so that we can get out of this evil, unstoppable force of deception that has been holding us down. And it took a lot of people, a lot of sacrifices. And I took the greatest sacrifice, and I'm good with that. It's not a problem to me, and I do it all again because that's who I am. That's what I do. But to realize that you're the one that made that type of sacrifice first, and then to realize that all the followed in the aftermath while you was indisposed, and now you have to clean it all up, it becomes unbelievable that it could be real. So sometimes I go back over my videos and it sounds like an entirely different person that's not me talking. And I know what that is because you shift gears. A person that's thinking like Einstein can't think like Einstein 24 hours a day. Sometimes he got to think like a toddler. Sometimes you got to get down on the floor with the babies and laugh and joke and be human. He got to hug the women and children. And then he can go back up in the clouds with his man. But if he don't have nobody he can trust, he can stand his man all day long because he's going to be isolated. Trust is a very key factor. And so a lot of people don't understand what all goes into trying to become a master. A master is not a light term to use because it's like a lot of struggle that goes into that, physical and personal struggle. And then you find out all of the people that was in on it, that was helping you along the way, whether they was aware or unaware. You know, there's certain masters, you know who they are because they talk to each other. And when you get to a certain level, you can point it out. Like Jim Croce was a master. Tupac was a master. Freddie Mercury was a master. Michael Jackson was a master. All these masters is passing the torch, and they leaving breadcrumbs along the way for the next master. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're going to have the last master. You had the last master. Go back to the Highlander and review Freddie Mercury Queen's song called Princes of the Universe, and this is the story of the Grail Kings. I'm the last one. I'm the last one. I'm the one that's going to bring this whole house of cards crumbling down on this bastard head so that we can live like humans and we can live a good life again. So I didn't pass all their tests. Now all I got to do is go collect the queen. So I'm going to go look for this birthday. And I'm going to see what I can do to find this birthday. If I get this birthday and it match, it's on and cracking. Hell have no fury, because here I come. I'm already about to set this shit off. Because that's what I do, set shit off. I crack motherfucking codes, and I set shit off. I crack codes, and I set shit off. I studied it all. Forensic profiling, psychological profiling, psychological therapy, the diagnostic statistic manual psychology. I done went and sat to the psych to try to see if I was crazy, and he told me, can I go with you? So I couldn't get out of it that way. I couldn't act like I was a nutcase. I thought I was a nutcase. So, but the psych said, no, you probably more sane than anybody in this office. And so that didn't go like I wanted it to, because I just wanted to be delusional, insane, and incorrect. But so far, I done been accurate, correct, and precise with my analysis and it's been blowing my mind so much that it felt like I don't even have a top on top of my head no more, because I never thought that what they was telling me was this big. I just thought I was gonna hit the